All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to begin. I'm Mayor Lorene West, City of Santa Clarita. I want to thank you today for joining us. We're here this morning to dedicate the city street in honor of a beloved member of our community, Cheri Fleming. I would first like to welcome some of our attendees that are here. Mayor Pro Tem Jason Gibbs, Councilwoman Marcia McLean, Councilmember Bill Miranda, Councilmember Cameron Smythe, Congressman Mike Garcia, Assemblywoman Suzette Valadares, former Councilman Bob Keller. From the SCV Water Board of Directors, we have Bill Cooper, R.J. Kelly, and Peter Orzechowski. From the College of the Canyons Board of Trustees, Vice President Joan McGregor, Board Member Michelle Jenkins, and Chancellor Dr. Diane Van Hook. From the Hart District, you're all allowed to clap. From the Hart District, President Joe Messina and Bob Jensen. From the Saga School Board, David Barlavi. Representing Senator Scott Wilk, Chris Huff. Representing Supervisor Catherine Barger, Stephanie English. Absolutely. From the Arts Commission, Arts Commissioner Patty Rasmussen. From the Planning Commission, Commissioner Renee Berlin. Our own Santa Clarita manager, Ken Striplin. If staff doesn't clap, they're in trouble. And Assistant Manager Frank Oviedo. Sheriff's Captain Justin Diaz. And from the California Highway Patrol, Captain Ed Cruzy and Officer Josh Greengard. I would also like to recognize the amazing husband, Don Fleming, Cheri's beloved. Along with her son, Brian, and the rest of the Fleming family. We are also joined today by Cheri's colleagues from Valencia Acura, yay, and many members of her beloved Seroptimist, my fellow sister Seroptimists. Cheri Fleming was a monumental member of the Santa Clarita community. She dedicated her life to helping others and giving back, and she always did so with a bright and beautiful smile. She had a kind and compassionate and energetic spirit that captured the attention of all those who had the pleasure of meeting her. Cheri and Don played a major role in the success of Valencia Acura and the Valencia Auto Center. In 1997, they purchased and revitalized Valencia Acura dealership just down the road from where we are now gathered today. In much of her work and life, she led with the golden rule: treat others in a way you wish to be treated. The business success and philanthropic accolades she accumulated throughout her life comes as a result of exemplifying the golden rule. Some of these accolades have included being named Santa Clarita Valley's Woman of the Year in 2004, becoming the first female to earn Dealer of the Year by the American International Automobile Dealers Association and Newsweek magazine in 2006. Also earning Woman of the Year recognition by the Los Angeles County 5th Supervisorial District and Commission for Women in 2012. Her leadership gifts extended to her charitable efforts when she served as president of the Seroptimist International of the Americas from 2013 to 2014. It was also during that time that Santa Clarita had another great leader, president of Zonta International, Diane Curtis. The two largest women's organizations in the world were internationally represented by women from Santa Clarita. An outstanding achievement, and I can tell you, Cheri wore her power well. She did everything with aplomb and grace and charm. I am proud to have shared countless memories with her and I'm honored to have had her as a friend. I would now like to invite up Cheri's son, Brian Fleming, to speak.
Wait, before he does, got to introduce Turbo.
Come here, Don.
No, I can't.
Okay, Brian, come here.
Turbo and Tessie, Brian.
Do the introduction.
I would like to welcome Turbo and Tessie and their groomer and Daisy.
That's really important.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out here today. I can't believe it's been 85 degrees for the last week and a half, and it seems to be a little chilly today. But thank you guys for coming out. Truly, truly, truly appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. This is a big honor for us and my family. Cheri did a lot of good in this community. She did a lot of good in our family, and she did a lot of good for Valencia Acura. We truly, truly thank you for everything, and thank you for being here in this cold and this rain, but I'm not much for many words. I just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brian. Next, we're going to hear from Cheri's friend and Seroptimus International, a Valle de Oro member, Sam Buchanan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And Don, thank you beyond words for inviting me to share just a few words about my dear friend, Cheri. What a privilege it is to be with you all today. Where in the world would an Acura dealer from Santa Clarita and a paralegal from El Cajon meet and become fast friends? Cheri and I pondered this many times over our improbable friendship. Our conclusion? Only in Seroptimist, which has been uniting women in empowering other women and girls through access to education for 100 years. And that's exactly where Cheri, the Acura dealer, and Sam, the paralegal, met. We were both governors-elect in our respective regions. I knew immediately that I was in the presence of greatness. But I couldn't know then how our friendship would grow, how our developing roles in Seroptimist leadership would expand, and how we would travel the Seroptimist world together. I could see immediately that Cheri was a relationship builder. She knew the names of everyone in the room, and I was still working on getting to know the people at my table. We grew from governors-elect to governors, and the next step in Cheri's Seroptimist leadership journey was the board of directors for our 20-country federation, Seroptimist International of the Americas. I took a parallel path, serving on our Federation Fundraising Council, giving us continued opportunities for contact and for idea sharing. From the Federation Board, Cheri was elected president. Of course she was. And I continued my parallel path as chair of Fundraising Council, more opportunities to work together. And I watched and smiled as Cheri's joyful intensity invigorated our entire federation and our entire membership experience. Being president gave Cheri a seat on our international board of directors, where 2 years later, I followed her, also becoming federation president and an international board member. Still more opportunities to work together, and every step of the way, Cheri encouraged me with wise counsel and introduced me to all the friends she was making along the way. Our journeys gave us passport stamps like Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Brazil, Turkey, Denmark, England, Scotland, and we had many trips to our Seroptimist headquarters city, Philadelphia, and points between. But more important than the many titles that Cheri held, and more significant than the travel, was what Cheri did as a Seroptimist leader, and the lasting impact she has had on Seroptimist at every setting. Cheri made friends. She made friends with every Seroptimist she met, which opened doors for important and sometimes difficult conversations, which in turn were made easier because we were talking with our friend Cheri. Cheri showed up authentically and completely and always brought her A game, always prepared, always ready to participate in significant ways, even when the days of meeting were long and tedious, and oh my, could they be. And in true Cheri fashion, once the long days of meetings were over, we adjourned to cocktail hour, where Cheri would tirelessly work the room, making sure that everyone was engaged in the conversation and enjoying their drink of choice, usually on Cheri. Cheri applied what she learned in her business, in her beloved home club of Seroptimist International of Greater Santa Clarita Valley, in her Camino Real region, and in her extensive volunteer work here in Santa Clarita with the Child and Family Center, the Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital, the American Cancer Society. Well, you know the list much better than I. She put all of that experience into creative ideas, shared as freely as she shared that marvelous smile of hers. One particular experience that she had with the hospital foundation, she couldn't wait to share with me. And although it took us a while, Cheri's idea gave birth to the most significant fundraising effort ever undertaken by Seroptimist, our current Dream Big campaign, investing in the dreams of 500,000 women and girls over the next 10 years. Cheri and I worked together on it every step of the way, literally, until she could no longer participate. But I assure you, we remember that it started with Cheri. We feel Cheri's monumental impact. We continue her work, and we cherish that joyful spirit always. Not a day goes by that I don't think of Cheri. And as I said at her memorial, Cheri is the best human example I can imagine of the first law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created and energy cannot be destroyed. Cheri's energy has been shared with all of us in her smile, in the kind and generous way she treated others, in the love she gave to us all, and in her remarkable impact on Seroptimist. Now it's up to us to keep spreading that energy that was Cheri. Today, it's expressed in this phenomenal community experience and in this forever tribute to our extraordinary friend. You know, Cheri was right. It's all good.
Thank you very much, Sam. We now have several elected officials who would like to present certificates to the Fleming family, Cheri's honor. So first, I would like to invite up our Congressman Garcia. Mike Garcia, please.
What a beautiful day. It really is a beautiful day. I think Cheri brought this rain, and in about a week or two, we're going to see flowers bloom and blossom in these planters. And she's going to remind us on a daily basis about this very special tribute. So it's an honor to be here. I'll be brief. I love the Fleming family. I love Cheri. She was a matriarch of our valley and everything that Santa Clarita represented. This is a utopia that we live in, and it doesn't become that way just by coincidence. It becomes that way because of leaders like Cheri and many of the folks who are here today. And I think this is, of all the ceremonies I've been to in the 2 years I've been in office, this is probably the most appropriate ceremony. It's right in the middle of our city. It's on the streets of our city that we all love. And we all drive this street anyway. So every day we drive this street, we think of Cheri. And this is about as appropriate as it gets. This is about as special as it gets, and to honor her in this manner, and frankly, the entire Fleming family is beyond special. and beyond appropriate. And I truly am honored to be here. I had the privilege of paying tribute to her on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives just shortly after her passing. And I want to thank the family for allowing me to do that and being a part of that special tribute and the memorial thereafter. And we miss her, but we love her. She's still here with us, and we're going to always remember her. So on behalf of the 25th Congressional District, soon to be the 27th Congressional District next year, that's confusing still, I know. I am honored to present the Fleming family with this certificate on behalf of the people, on behalf of not only the district, but the citizens of Santa Clarita Valley. And I'm honored to be here and pay tribute to Cheri. She's loved. She will always be loved. And anything we can do to help you guys, please let us know. Thank you.
Now I'd like to please welcome Assemblywoman Suzette Valadares.
Wow, this is pretty stunning. If you could have my view, the amount of people here that are here to show their respect and love for Cheri because of the amazing work that she did, whether in business, whether in philanthropy, whether in politics, supporting women, supporting girls. This view is pretty amazing. And as Mr. Barlavi mentioned to me, there are lots of people soaking wet back there that haven't left because they want to pay tribute to this amazing woman. You know, I'll just share a really quick personal story about Cheri Fleming, who I first met when I worked for Congressman Garcia. I did not work for Congressman Garcia, Congressman Buck McKeon. I do support Congressman Garcia, though. When I first worked for Buck. And man, was she a powerful woman who knew everyone. But what was so amazing about Cheri is despite her power, despite her presence when she would walk into a room, she was also one of the most approachable women in a room as well. And let me tell you, that's really inspiring for young women in politics and business, because it's not always easy. It's not always easy to be a woman in politics or business. And when you have examples like Cheri Fleming that are leaders in our community, that are mentors for our women and our girls in our community, we are in good hands. I still try and emulate who she is, and I haven't quite perfected it yet, but I know that Cheri's legacy will live on in my heart and so many others. And now her name is going to be on our wonderful street here in Santa Clarita. So on behalf of the state of California, to the Fleming family, Don, Brian, we would like to present this certificate to Cheri Fleming, Auto Center Drive.
Thank you, Assemblywoman Valadares. We now have representatives from College of the Canyon, so if you'd all please come up and share with us.
Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Diane. Nice to see you as always.
Nice to see you as well. It's an honor to be here today. We have a resolution. We hope you will hang it proudly in the dealership, which recognizes Cheri's contribution. Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." And I would go one step further, that one person can make a difference. And if there's anybody in this valley that has shown that time after time, it's Cheri Fleming. I will, whenever I say or hear that word Cheri, I see that billboard with Cheri and Don, and I'm not sure which set of animals was with you on that, but I've lost all the names, and if I try to say it, I'll say Flipper and Flapper, and that's probably not what they were called. But I also want to share with you that I think the drive is really important. Cheri Fleming Drive. So what does drive stand for? For me, when I think of Cheri, the D stands for determination. The R stands for resiliency. No matter what it was, she came back and she was resilient to see it to the end. I stands for initiative. V stands for vision. She had a vision of what she hoped she could motivate and engage and inspire in this valley. And all you have to do is look around at all of the entities that she helped and the people that she cared about and see what that vision inspired. And lastly, her friend from Seroptimus said E stands for energy. So when you see Cheri Fleming drive, you think of those components that she brought to us each and every day, how she inspired women to believe that they could, even though they might never have, and how she cared one person at a time. We had a conversation when she was called me up to say she had secured another $20,000 for our auto tech program. And we talked about, what do you think is most important that people do right now? And I said, well, I think that these times are challenging. I think they're challenging for people depending on where each person is. But I think people need to be kind. They need to be somewhat patient, although not lower their standards. And they also need to care for each other. And Cheri always cared for everybody, for all of us. So it is an honor to be here today. Where did Eric go? We have a resolution. I won't read it all, but it talks about Cheri's kindness. It talks about Don and Cheri leading this community, being recognized as our Silver Spur awardees in 2019. Talks about how she inspired other people to believe they could no matter what the circumstances were. And it honors her and says, now therefore be it resolved, the people who comprise the community of College of the Canyons do join in commemorating Cheri Fleming and her significant, personal, passionate contributions that touch so many of us and will live on in all of us and the spirits that she inspired, and celebrate the naming of Cheri Fleming Auto Center Drive as a most deserving recognition of her enduring community leadership, visionary entrepreneurial spirit, and inspiring enthusiasm for life. And I will tell you, the sun is coming out. It's over there. I can always see the sun. And when we're done with this, that sun's going to be out. And that sun, when you look up, you see Cheri. Congratulations, and thank you for letting us be part of this.
Thank you, Chancellor Dr. Diane Van Hook, for that. Appreciate it. And now representing Senator Scott Wilk's office would be Chris Huff.
Thank you, everyone. This is hard to follow, all these beautiful words. Thank you, Don, Brian, Fleming family, for allowing me to be here representing Senator Scott Wilk. Sam, your words captured Cheri beautifully. I couldn't say anything more except personally, I will say Cheri was a friend. I love Cheri Fleming. She inspired me personally and professionally, and I am forever grateful to have had her in my life. But I'm here on behalf of Senator Scott Wilk, so I'm going to read what he had to say. He really wishes, Don, that he could have been here. Today, it's my honor to celebrate the dedication of Cheri Fleming Auto Center Drive. Cheri was a force of nature, and I will be forever grateful for what she did for others and to help make our community a better place to live, work, and drive. And that's on behalf of State Senator Scott Wilk. So congratulations, Fleming family.
Thank you very much, Chris, and thank the senator. Now representing Supervisor Catherine Barker is Stephanie English.
Good morning. As Chris said, everything's been said, but I think it's very appropriate to take the time to continue to express our deep gratitude and appreciation for the impact that Cheri had in this community. And I know that Supervisor Barker has the deepest regard for her work. And as has been said, this community is largely what it is because of Cheri. and Dawn and all your work. Cheri gave of her time, her resources, her attention, her devotion. I especially appreciate that she mentored people coming up to get involved, to ensure their success, young women and others to make those contributions. And that's what we need to continue to spur in our community, is that level of devotion that Cheri exemplified. And so on behalf of Supervisor Barger, we just would like to recognize a beautiful life that will never be forgotten and will have lasting impact in generations to come. Dawn, do you want to accept, or are you coming?
Thank you very much, Stephanie, and please let Supervisor Barger know how much we appreciate that. I want to ask a special person to come up, Roger Seaver, head of Henry Mayo Newhall Memorial Hospital, and Cheri served them well, and let me ask him to speak a moment.
Thank you, and I too cannot overstate the words that have already been said, but a little bit special about Cheri, our hospital, and our service. Her inspiration, her leadership, her commitment, her development of support for our hospital never ended. The one thing I look back on is, of course, we wanted her to sit in the chair of the board of Henry Mayo, but she had these other connections in front of us, nationally, internationally, et cetera. So we just waited for a while. Unfortunately, she was chair-elect for our board of directors. It's more than an honorary position. It showed her dedication and support for our hospital. It's been mentioned her instrumental work on fundraising, support, as well as the Sheila Vilos, along with many in this audience, creating a unique service to serve this community that has ever grown afterward. The Fleming family and the Crawford family, of course, supported us for years with a special golf tournament as well. And it was just always Cheri. The other regret I have today is my wife couldn't be here. She really looked forward, like many of you, to benefit from Cheri's inspiration. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger Seaver. I wanted to just take a second before we start wrapping up and getting ready to unveil the sign, personal note to Cheri's family. She was like a lighthouse, a guiding light of leadership. She could handle a storm, but she was gentle with those who were fragile. There will never be another Cheri. She was a leader. She was a mentor. She was giving and generous friend. She loved animals and she brought them everywhere. It gave people comfort and joy. We were so blessed to have had her here, and she will always, always be remembered. I believe she could do any job she needed to. Her legacy is in the heart of Santa Clarita forever. I want to thank you all for being here to help us honor Cheri. Sir Optimus, you've done her proud. Thank you. And to all of our elected officials, our congressmen, our supervisor, our assemblywomen, all those who have come, Dr. Van Hook, Roger Seaver, so many of you. It takes a special woman to bring so much of the strength of the community out, and for all her friends that have come to show their solidarity out in the rain. Bless you and thank you. I know she's looking on, and I know she's joyful for having all of this love and support, and she'd like us all to continue the hard work, love, and support to keep a great community. That was what she did, and that's who she was, and so it's up to us now to do that. I must also thank Mimi's Cafe this morning for giving us some refreshments, and we thank them very much.
Come on, Bob.